when you're in a big city and we're social animals, we feel like we want to be at the top of the hierarchy. We want to feel like with the people around us that I'm doing well. And we only have a few criteria that are given to us with doing well. And I think particularly in busy cities like this one, doing well often looks like doing more, earning more, achieving more.
Yeah, money and title.
Yeah. So if that's the criteria for success, and you also have a lot of people close to each other comparing themselves to each other, then this is what happens.
Super dangerous.
Yeah.
Super dangerous. And I think, at least from my own experience and from clients that I've worked with, I find it really frustrating that we don't flesh out the other areas that are important to us until something really bad happens.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier today, like whether it's a heart attack or some sort of injury, or with me, it was stress and anxiety and hospitalization. It's frustrating to me because we're in a society that obviously values intelligence, we value education, we value, in some ways, self-awareness and stuff like that as well. Yet, until life comes along and hits you across the head with a sledgehammer, we don't listen. What do you think is going on there?
What do I think is going on there? I mean, that's a tough question, and I like it. I'm willing to rise to it. I think that the issue is that we get caught up with not what is important, but what is urgent. And I think that if there is constant things to do, stimulus around you, expectations of you, the time that you have to listen inward becomes so small. And distraction becomes a sense of relief, because when you've ignored enough of the signal and then you go to look inwards and you realize you're not happy, you're not where you want to be, you've crushed down that, inner child, shall we put it, for a decade plus, and not given yourself the time. Sometimes it's not a very nice truth to look at anymore.
Maybe too hard to reconcile.
Maybe.
Easier to distract and go deeper into the thing where you know you can win.
Indeed.
Yeah, at least my experience of it was, I mean, you saw this. My experience of it was you keep digging a deeper and deeper hole.
Yeah.
And it gets harder and harder to climb out of.
Yeah.
And in some ways, the impetus for me starting this podcast as an adjacent thing to this sort of new phase is to have these types of gray area conversations. It's what are the things that we're all sort of struggling with, where maybe if we talk about them, we can learn from someone else's experience of it, so we don't have to deal with the sledgehammer to the head moment of life forcing you to realize it. Do you struggle with that? The importance thing and the urgency thing?
Oh yeah, certainly. I mean, when you're running a company and you have patients who you really care about coming in every day, giving you the worst thing that's going on in their life right now, your ability to look at something like, call a parent, or do something creative, or go and have a run, whatever it is, which I would say are all important things to do for yourself or for your family, they get drowned out. So when urgent is always, like there's always some form of alarm bell going off, your ability to refocus and have enough mental bandwidth and CPU to say, no, I want to do what's important, is sometimes a challenge. And it's still something which I feel I'm not doing too badly at, but I can go for weeks, sometimes months on end, when I realize, I haven't done that, even though I know it sits with my values and is something which is really important to me. I haven't done it because I've been just trying to put out fires everywhere.
What are some of the things that fall off?
The first things to fall off, unfortunately, is hanging out with friends and calling family. They're unfortunately the first ones to fall off.
You're smiling as you say that, but there's some sadness there for sure.
Yeah, well, no, there is. I'm smiling more because it's usually you that I'm not calling. I'm calling you to see if you want to go out. So I was thinking like, oh, at least we're hanging out now. But no, obviously the sadness there. The fact that you have people in your life that you really care about. And if the sledgehammer moment were to happen, where they're gravely ill or something were to happen, you drop all of the urgent things in a moment. But it's the presence, the quiet presence there day to day, which actually goes ahead and means so much to friends and family, that ends up being thrown aside when you're a busy person. So the other thing which you probably find I'm like finding it difficult to integrate is being flexible and being structured as well. That old dance of a schedule which you're like, oh no, I can drop this, I'll put this in, and being structured enough to say, no, this is how it is. I'm setting this amount of time for exercise, I'm setting this amount of time for friends, etc. Yeah, that balance I think I haven't quite struck perfectly yet.
Yeah, and it is conceptually, because I do the same thing, but I find it conceptually crazy that we've built our lives to a point where to do some self-care or to get some connection in, we need to schedule it like a meeting. And I even talk about it like that when I coach people, that if you really care about your health, if one of your values is taking care of yourself because you respect yourself and you want to put yourself first because it enables you to be the best version of yourself, you cannot have a situation where your boss will tell you to schedule 20 meetings this week and you'll do it no problem, but you won't schedule your workout in, for example. But that's a crazy system that we've developed. Like, what am I talking about? You have to schedule time with friends, time exercising. And in some ways, this is the pattern that we have in societies like this, and we have to figure out how we work within it, right? But I think there's serious risk of making too many small decisions over what eventually becomes years and years and years, where we end up painting ourselves into a corner of regret, right? How many stories do we know about where people have gone down that path and achieved some insane layer of success and are miserable?
Yeah, I know so many of them. It's unfortunately something which you see quite often. That you have everything that you should want in the world, but something isn't quite right. They're not quite happy. And
I am in some ways thankful.
Still making your mind up.
A couple of years ago, when something quite intense and tragic happened in my life, and I was forced to face the fact that I had built my entire sense of identity around what I was doing at work. And as much as I still don't really like to admit it, so much of the meaning that I drew from life was related to the success in that thing that I was building, right? And I think in sort of new phase of life since then, I've been trying to figure out how to build in the other stuff, because when everything collapsed, I was forced to realize that, well, who am I? And actually, there's all this stuff around me that is super important, and all these people that really bring me a deep sense of joy that I haven't been investing in enough. And it was really uncomfortable. It was really difficult to face. But in some ways, it's good that at the same time, illness struck with people close to me, and there's some deaths in the family, and kids came along. So I had all this stuff that sort of like shook me and helped me realize that no, like, yes, work stuff and sense of purpose and mission and challenge and all that, but also all of this.
Yeah. And it's a wonderful thing to see. I was there with you when a lot of this happened, but to see you go through that, and yes, there's a grieving process. Yes, there's this process of difficulty, but to see you connect with your family in such a beautiful way, and to have friends around you who became even closer after that as well. Like it seems that you can dwell on either one, right? You can either look at just the negative side and beat yourself up about it, or you can look at just the positive side and actually feel that happened for a reason, and you're in a better place afterwards. It's a challenge of perspective quite often when difficult things happen to us, and how we integrate it into who our new identity is either a success or a failure. The act itself wasn't a success or a failure, but your ability to integrate it in a meaningful way that makes all the difference.
And is it clear to you what success is for you?
Oh, is it clear what success is for me? I think so. I think this, I don't say this in terms of wanting to sound big-headed, but I think success is where we are right now. Like, look at the sort of privileges we have. If you can draw your own goalposts for success, and as long as you draw it somewhere which is halfway or maybe 2/3 of what you already have, and then 1/4 of what you're still driving for, I think that's a very healthy way to place your criteria for success. I've got people around me who I care for deeply. I've got food on the table. I've got shelter. I've got a means and meaning in my life, and a means to make a amount of money which can get me and my family by. What more could you want? People would die for that in other countries. So I think that being able to have this attention of what's important to you, and to place a significant amount of your attention on realizing how lucky you are, is a recipe for success.
I think that's so important. I don't want that to, that's a lesson that I think all of us should take away from this, right? I think what you just said there is really simple, but it's not that easy to do day to day. There's like a certain amount of training yourself to keep that filter that needs to happen. And I find a lot with the clients that I coach, like everybody knows that, everybody knows about being grateful, but in the day-to-day chaos of just dealing with the urgent stuff, it's not easy to keep that filter.
You can lose it, right? Very quickly.